Finally, something we get to talk about. I'm Eric Emanuel. I used to be 500 pounds. If you want to learn some tips and tricks how to look like me, well, they're not going to get them from me because I'm talking LA Knight and Roman Reigns. Did you guys see the crazy entrance? I'm going to be honest with you. Great job. Roman Reigns is going to retain the title. Hopefully not. Maybe. I don't even know. But if you're trying to build LA Knight, what better way to make him a megastar? Roman Reigns is coming out. He's just about to raise the title. And LA Knight's music hits behind him, perfectly behind the screen. Man, WWE is just doing something right these days. It's like Paul Levesque is Booker of the Year and Dave Meltzer is just behind him. Oh, that's right, he is. And I don't blame Dave Meltzer for getting behind Triple H because if you know my channel, you've been watching for a long time, going back to 2016, I wrote a story called Wrestling Isn't Wrestling Part 2. Yeah. You may have seen it spammed on my Twitter feed quite a bit, at Tubimu. And my new one coming, at the Eric Emanuel. It's in the description, go look it up. It's going to be where my comedy and stuff goes, and tips and tricks and stuff like that. But that's the interesting thing right now with WWE is LA Knight getting a pay-per-view is huge, right? I think as fans, hopefully you guys are this, if you guys are following my community, I'm in the new mood and mindset when it comes to watching WWE, kind of like I told you nerds 7 years ago with Wrestling Isn't Wrestling Part 2. The Triple H is just laying oil wells all over the world, and he'd eventually cash them in. We just happen to be in Saudi. But when it comes to actual talent in WWE and people, LA Knight meteoric rise, and then getting a pay-per-view opportunity is huge. Now, I'm not going to lie. If he actually wins the title, Triple H and WWE is in completely new hands, and they're really behind something. But let's be honest. The Roman Reigns storyline, whether it's Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, whether it's CM Punk, whether it's somebody returning, whether it's a former foe that he's already faced, WWE is just good television now. Can we all agree? Whether LA Knight wins or LA Knight loses, WWE is in the prime right now to where Dave Meltzer is right. They are the Booker of the Year. Paul is killing it because for the first time, I'm not caring about the pay-per-view matches. Like, I know that sounds weird, but for somebody that doesn't really watch tons of the weekly shows, when it comes to the actual pay-per-views, they just put on a great show. And when you do turn into the weekly shows, you're actually enjoying them. Like NXT, Raw, Smackdown, they're all firing. So that's where it's like, LA Knight is something special. But this is also WWE, and they run the same pattern. First year, maybe goes for the big title, goes back down to the mid-card title. It's just what WWE does. They've done it for as long as we can remember. It's actually a script they've repeated if you go back and look 10 years, which is why I wrote Wrestling Isn't Wrestling Part 2 and was so confident because Triple H has been building those storylines going back to NXT, and they could always capitalize on them. And I always said, for ratings way back when, WWE didn't have to worry about AEW because WWE could just bring back old talent to beat them. And what did they do? They brought back old talent on NXT to get a win. 83-week streak, man. That shit's over. But here's my favorite thing right now. If you're honestly watching this right now, and you're thinking the fact that LA Knight getting such a rise, getting a pay-per-view match, the crowds are behind him, and